Hey, it's Regina here at Tarot and Time, and I am excited to share with you our newest edition of practitioners to Tarot and Time. And we have Dr. Eugene Zampirian here, a naturopathic physician, Dr. Z, as I call him. Hi, Dr. Z.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. So I'm
welcome.
going to read a little bit about your bio. Okay, so Dr. Zampirian has over 30 years of experience as a licensed naturopathic medical physician, registered professional medical herbalist, ethobotanist researcher, botanical formulations inventor, educator, lecturer, spokesman, and radio personality. This is a great bio. He's the co-author of the book Arthritis, the Alternative Medicine Definitive Guide, Supplements for Pain, and the Natural Medicine Chest. He is a 1990 graduate of, help me say this, Bastyr College of Natural Health Sciences. Dr. Z is known to his students and audiences, was on the founding advisory board that helped firmly establish the University of Bridgeport College of Naturopathic Medicine, and is the first accredited naturopathic medical college on the Eastern Seaboard in 100 years. You've trained hundreds of naturopathic doctors and physicians internationally with his encyclopedic knowledge of plants and science-based natural medicines, and he lectures around the world about plants and natural medicines. He's recently retired from teaching full-time at the naturopathic program that he helped start in Bridgeport, and he has taught many courses at UBCNM, including rheumatology and natural pain management, and has taught for 20 years botanical medicine. So due to his retiring, we are lucky enough that we have Dr. Z joining us, expanding his practice. Let's see, Dr. Z was named one of the best and most innovative naturopathic doctors for 2016 by the Canadian Naturopathic Doctors Development Center, and he won the National Natural Leader NMSA Beacon Award. Wow, this is the biggest bio I've seen in a while. It's full of amazing things. So he also does these things called eco tours. And I know Jamaica is one of the big spots that you go to. So pretty much a professional on Jamaican plants, right? And teaching others about them. He practices in Woodbury, Connecticut. So we're lucky to have him doing sessions through Zoom so that you don't have to travel all the way to Woodbury if you don't want to. But at some points in the treatment process, you can see these people in person also. He is also a black belt in multiple martial arts forms. I love that. Master gardener and former steward of the ND College's medicinal herb garden. And I know you grow banana trees, which is very cool. And it says that you left them outside all year in cold Connecticut. Wow. They're still alive.
Yeah, there's species that you can grow. It's interesting, and they've been honored and a part of what's called the Connecticut Notable Trees, which is a website which talks about amazing trees all over the state, including some strange trees that you wouldn't think would grow here, like different palm trees, which I'm able to grow.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. And there's also a whole documentary about Dr. Z's lifelong apprenticeship with the late Jamaican shaman and bush doctor. We can post a link to that too for people. So now that they know a little bit about you, we decided that we were going to talk about tongue diagnosis and reading the tongue. And you know, Tarot and Time, we're all about reading. We've got tarot readers and all these different types of readings. Now we actually have a naturopath that's going to be able to give us health information that can really, and by just looking at our tongue. So yes. Take it away. Let's talk.
Definitely. Let me see if So what's interesting about the tongue is it's really like an upside down human being with the head and the heart and the lungs sort of here. You can see that. And then of course the internal organs, the stomach and the spleen. And by the spleen, they didn't mean the spleen. Remember, the Chinese didn't do diagnosis. So the spleen in Chinese medicine has to do with the pancreas. the absorption of food, the absorption of what's called the gu qi. And qi is the universal energy or force that gives us life, that separates us from a corpse. And a lot of our qi, some of it's we're born with, some of it we get from the universe from doing qigong or tai chi or martial arts, and then some we are stored in the kidneys, some stored in the lungs, but a lot comes from that spleen energy or pancreatic energy, and that's the ability to absorb the qi from your food. And this is where a lot of patients go awry. It also shows the basic health of the liver and the gallbladder and the large and small intestines, and then including the kidneys. And the kidneys in Chinese medicine are also tricky because that includes the male and female reproductive organs and the adrenal glands. So it's very complex. But the tongue is a map of your body, just like the palm is, and the soles of your feet and reflexology. So the practitioner who's trained in tongue diagnosis can really help patients understand what's going on with their body. So these are different types of tongues that you would see. Again, normal tongue, a qi deficient tongue. This is someone who has a lot of fatigue, poor appetite, sweats easily, always short of breath, and they're overthinking and worrying. Each of the organs in Chinese medicine, we just celebrated Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. So it's but yeah, so this is really certainly timely. But when we overthink, when we have a predominance of a particular thought process, whether we worry a lot or we're angry too much or we're overworked or we're grieving, that's going to reflect itself on the tongue, believe it or not, affect the organs. We could see someone with too much heat in the body. They feel hot all the time. They sweat easy. They're thirsty, constipated, irritable, bad-tempered, lots of skin eruptions. Like they say, acne is like volcanic eruptions of the skin. So you can tell that from the tongue. Usually it's red with a yellow coat. The coating tells us a lot too. Dampness, patients, white coat, pale tongue, abdomen full, chest full, they feel heavy and lethargic. Purple tongue, the blood is stuck. The blood is stuck. We see varicose veins, painful legs, cold limbs, and if it gets really bad, heart disease. If the qi is stagnant, we're stressed, then we're upset, unstable. PMS is that example of that. Damp heat would be skin problems, UTIs, clammy skin type of thing with a very greasy coating and red tongue, a little bit different from the heat here because there's some dampness involved, which means that there's usually some infection going involved. Got to remember, Chinese medicine's ancient. They didn't know about germs 5,000 years ago, so they just observed the environment and they understood, the various elements, the elements and how they affected the body and excessive elements. Then you have a yang deficient tongue. This is people who are kind of very burnt out. You see this in the elderly patients when their hormones go down really low. They're always cold and freezing all the time. Back pain, weak knees, maybe emotionally low, and maybe they have chronic fatigue syndrome type of thing. Yin deficiency is a type of heat, but it's not heat from having so much fire, it's heat from not having enough yin. Yin balances yang. Yin is fluids, moisture, hormones, oils. So when you're deficient in yin, you can get hot flashes, insomnia, irritability, ring in the ears, and cracks in the tongue, just like the road cracking in the middle of the summer, when the road kind of splits up. And a blood deficient tongue, very pale, dizzy, fatigue, palpitations, poor memory, heavy blood flow sometimes in women, but men can be blood deficient too. So here's some tongues. So this is a classic spleen deficient tongue that I might encounter in checking your tongues out. You could see that the color is pale, scalloped, with teeth marks, large. It's kind of enlarged, right? And remember, the tongue's a muscle. right? The tongue's a muscle. Red dots throughout the tongue. Here's what the patient complained about: lots of bowel sounds. That's borborygmus. Soft stool, chronic insomnia, chronic fatigue, mercury toxicity. We found when we ran the hair test. With deficient selenium, zinc, chromium, manganese, tired muscles. They worked the night shift. They hooverized their food, which means they ate it like a vacuum cleaner instead of proper chewing, Gina. And then ate salads in the wintertime, because in Chinese medicine, you're supposed to change your diet based on the seasons,
Right. It makes me think about biting your tongue. Like,
Sometimes, yeah, people bite their tongue when it's too big. Yeah.
Okay.
So to the Western practitioner, weak digestion and poor assimilation would be associated with this tongue. They might have pale sclera, which is like, under your eye here. And they probably don't have enough hydrochloric acid in their stomach, which is used to break down protein. So they probably over time become deficient in B12 and iron and protein and amino acids, and they just become very deficient. And that's why they develop chronic fatigue syndrome, because you need all these things to build energy and ATP and fight chronic fatigue syndrome.
Wow.
And I talked about that sometimes mercury can actually block the production of ATP, which is like human fuel. That's the fuel that allows us to move and do anything. And, we actually did find that the patient was low in these minerals and had a lot of amino acid deficiencies and a poor diet. So we were able to, help them. By the way, they also had excessive thinking and brooding, pensiveness, and low serotonin we were able to find too, because they kind of burnt out their mind. So, and some allergies to foods.
Wow.
So
all out from the tongue. Wow.
Sorry. All from the tongue.
All out from the tongue.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So this is what I prescribe. Bitters. Bitters are like things that you could either eat before a meal to stimulate digestion, or, it could be like a liqueur, like they sell bitters at the, health shop, and maybe you carry bitters, but that would be really good thing. Bitters to stimulate digestion. No raw foods. Too many raw foods. Strong digestive enzyme. Don't eat your allergies. Get rid of those heavy metals in the body like mercury. Warm soups versus salads, particularly in the wintertime. Sours, like we gave lime juice before the meal, bitter orange. Tractalotes is the ginseng of the stomach. Stop overthinking. So that took a lot of time to practice the mind-body medicine with this patient, because we get stuck in our mental chatter. And then we prescribe herbs which help with energy. Licorice, astragalus, which is called hongqi. That's the biggest tonic in China. And ashwagandha, the biggest tonic in India. And the patient did very well. And their tongue actually changed. I don't have a recent picture of the tongue, but the tongue actually changed, and you saw the teeth mark get better. And the tongue looks beautiful now. So you actually can change your tongue by following a good naturopathic program. So another tongue. This is a patient with fatigue, lethargy, food allergies, tick bite, and had antibiotic treatment, and had a recent case of Bartonella. So you could see that they had the strawberry tongue here. And then we have another tongue, which we recently got a picture of. And the analysis was some disturbance of the Shen or spirit and the Chinese heart. The heart in Chinese medicine means the emotions. So some yin deficiency cracks we see here starting to form, and the tongue is on the pale side. So we need to do some blood deficiency treatments, but otherwise healthy tongue. So we want to help the patient's spirit and emotions and their heart and their Shen with like herbs like ziziphus, biota, polygala, or if they want to go with like kava kava, skullcap, passion flower, anything to kind of put their adrenals to bed and chill them out and relax them, and then use adaptogenic herbs to build the strength of the adrenal, like ginseng, ashwagandha, and increase yin foods, which we'll talk a little bit about, and focus on blood building foods. These are things that weaken your blood, too much mental work and stress, chi deficiency, and too much caretaking, which we and these are specific foods to strengthen your blood, Gina.
Yeah.
Liver, eggs, especially the yolks. What's a good one here? Tempeh, beans, according to your blood type. But black beans particularly seem to help. Goji berries, black sesame seeds, spirulina, and dong quai is an excellent herb to put in the soups with the lovage. And then lifestyles to strengthen the blood, rest during menstruation, balance self-care with nurturing others, balance activity with rest, try to sleep a little bit more, practice meditation, qigong, tai chi, and other stress relieving activities. So that's basically a little bit of an introduction on the tongue analysis. So really interesting stuff. I tell you, could tell so much. I know when I take people to Chinatown and I sit down and we do their pulse and tongue, I can tell so much about patients. We run these trips to Chinatown once or twice a week, me and my business partner, and it just, people are blown away by, like, because remember, Chinese medicine is pre-diagnostic medicine, before blood tests, before MRIs, and they have thousands of years of observation to be able to really hone in on what is going on with patients. So it's really exciting to offer that service.
I think it's fantastic. And I felt a little nervous sharing my tongue, but it's so interesting how much great information I just got back in just a couple minutes of you looking at it. I've always seen the cracks and wondered what that is. And so, wow, very cool. So when a patient comes and has this Zoom session with you, they'll send you the photos. You'll go into detail more about what you see on the photo. And then you'll give them, like you just showed with me, some recommendations, food-wise, plant-wise.
Yes.
And then
maybe where to get these particular formulas or individual, whether Western or Chinese herbs that people can take to bring their body into balance. And then we should probably look at their tongue in a couple months to see if there's changes.
Absolutely. And then, so would you say that, so they could do that, they could book a session with you, do the tongue reading, follow the description, whatever you'd prescribe, and then come back again a couple months later, just see where they're at with that.
Yes. Yes,
and
exactly.
Then they could come schedule an appointment with you if they want to do more work, like the hair test.
Yeah, I mean, if they need more in-depth, holistic evaluations and whatnot, yeah, that's always advisable. But certainly, like the hair test, if you don't dye or perm your hair, can give us tremendous amounts of information on your minerals, your absorption, your thyroid, your adrenals, your endocrine system, stress. I mean, even that is a fantastic tool. It does require you to have hair that's untreated, though. That's one of the
but it can be hair from anywhere on the body, correct?
Yeah, you can't mix them. You can't mix the hair, but you can do it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And I'm very curious about the trips to New York City. So whoever's listening, if you have interest in that, you can comment and we can give you more information about those opportunities also. So Dr. Z, I'm so excited to have you here with us. It's a great tool. We sell a lot of herbal products in our store, and it's just really nice to have someone who's trained and knowledgeable to be able to help people with the use of that. because nobody wants to be taking the wrong thing. And there's so many products out there. So we're thrilled to have you. And you will be able to go to our website, Tarot in Time, THYME, and we have easy online bookings. So you'll be able to see Dr. Z's schedule, make your appointment, and we'll give you the instructions to send your photos in of your tongue so he can be prepared for the session when you meet on Zoom. All of our sessions are recorded also, so you'll be able to listen back. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. I look forward to working with people. Bye.